YouTube family, top of the morning. Hope everybody doing good and in great spirits. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Let's keep them coming. Thank you to all the people that shared the donation with me. I highly appreciate that. And this video I'm gonna be talking about how one time I basically almost lost my life to the prison system, and I was facing basically 10 to 15 years for a crime that I did not commit. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump straight into it. So the year was 2011, right? I just came home from doing my 3 years up north or whatever in 2010 October, the previous year. So I go through the rest of 2010. Got a little rest here and there, and the new year rolls in, which is 2011. My best friend ended up getting killed that year, January 2011. So the end of that month into the next month, which was February, the Warren squad raided my crib where I was living at. I was living with my sister at the time. I was paroled there, and the Warren squad raided my crib looking for me. So I'm thinking it's for a parole violation or something like that, of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And it was actually for a whole crime, a new charge. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I was on parole, 5 years parole still. You know what I mean? And I was still on paper, so it was a shock to me. Like, I'm trying to think, like, if I did a crime or anything, because at that time I was still doing stupid stuff. I didn't learn anything in prison at that time, from being in there. And it was just like, I didn't know what it was for. So they left their card with my sister, because I wasn't there when they ran in the crib. They left their card with her, so I called them and I'm asking them, like, what is this for? They telling me that I had to come in because they can't talk about it. They can't tell me about it over the phone. So I end up going into a lineup place in the Bronx somewhere, and I spoke to a detective. Next thing you know, they took me to the 40th precinct in the Bronx and basically held me in a room for hours. About 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, right? And this is how fast your life could change with the quickness. And I'm in that room for all them hours. I still got my property, phone, all that. And I'm texting, calling everybody, telling them what's going on, sister, brothers, all them family, my wife, all of that. And the detective finally come in the office, in the room, and tell me, like, he puts a paper down in front of me on the desk. I'm handcuffed to the table, sitting down. He puts the paper down. He was like, "You know what you're being charged with?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "What?" He was like, "You're being charged with an armed robbery in the 1st degree." Mind you, I just came home from doing 3 years for that same charge, right? I got lucky. And when he told me that, I was like, hell no, that wasn't me. You got the wrong guy. Like, I did not commit no robbery. Like, I did not, and I really didn't. That was the funny thing. Now check this out. Part 2 of the story, not even part 2, it goes with the story. So as I'm in that room that whole time, before he even come in the room with the paper and tell me what I'm being charged with, I hear somebody else in another room yelling and screaming, saying, "I didn't commit no robbery. I'm a grown ass man. Y'all bugging. I was home with my babies, my 1-year-old, my 3-year-old. You can ask my 3-year-old where her father was at, and she'll tell you that I was home with her watching TV, cartoons." And this is what I'm hearing. I can't see who's saying this, but I'm hearing it. So I didn't pay no mind to it, honestly. I'm thinking it's just another person locked up. So now as we leaving later, a couple hours later, you gotta leave in New York City. You gotta leave the precinct to go to central bookings to see the court, go through the process, the floors, and all of that. So as we leaving, the officer that got me at the front desk, like, signing out, basically, I turn around and I see some dude behind me with another officer. He's being signed out too to go to the bookings. So I turn around and I ask son, I'm like, yo, fam, what you here for? A robbery? He like, yeah. I said, yo, I think we here for the same shit, son, and I don't even know you, fam. And I told him that, like, right there in front of the officers, in front of the captain, all of that. I'm like, yo, are we here for this? If we here for the same charge, and I don't know this man. Like, first of all, he's 10 years older than me. At the time, I think I was 21. He was like 31, 32. Now he's 10 years older than me. Where he lives at, because, you know, after we spoke and all that, in that brief time, I asked him, like, where you from? He said, Webster, over there, up that way. I'm like, that's like 40, 30 blocks from where I live at. There's no, I don't even know this man. Anyway, they still took us to the precinct, to the bookings, booked us. We come out this back together to see the judge at the same time. And I don't know if they RR'd him or if they let, or what. I know I went back. But as we standing there and they reading off the charges, I'm speaking out. You're not supposed to talk in the court. I'm speaking out loud like, yo, I don't even know this man. I don't know this nigga. Like, I didn't commit no crime with him. I'd have never seen him a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they booked us. I think they let him out RR. And since my rap sheet, I just came home on parole. They sent my ass right back to the boat. The boat, for those who don't know, that come across this video, that's like a little jail in the Bronx, a Hunts Point area. It's a boat. It's literally a boat that floats on water, a big ass boat. So yeah, and that's how that situation went. So now, mind you, like I said, I'm on parole. This is how fast my life could have, excuse me, could have changed and could have got messed up. Could have spent years of my life in the penitentiary for a crime that I didn't commit. Because of whatever happened wrong. I don't know what they were trying to do with me or what, but so I'm still on parole. I get locked up. My bail is some short change. My bail is only like $3,500, $5,000. So I'm like, oh, this is short. Like 30% of that is light. You know what I'm saying? I got that somewhere in the crib, or I'm saying family or wife got that. So I end up bailing out 2 weeks later. I sat on the boat for 2.5 weeks. I'm saying wifey bailed me out. Boom, I get out. Now I'm fighting a case from the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the streets, acting stupid, doing, stupid stuff. And what ended up happening was I ended up getting violated on parole. Went to Willard. That's a whole nother story in itself, the Willard. That was a crazy experience. I do the Willard joint, come home. I do the Willard joint, I get released from Willard, but they released me back to Rikers Island custody. Bullshit. They since I missed the court date while I was doing Willard, they revoked my bail because they thought I went on a run, but because they didn't know I was on a violation. So they revoked my bail. So after I finished the Willard shit, I had to go back to Rikers Island, sit there. I was in the 4 building. I sat there for 2 weeks. Wifey bailed me back out, right? And I'm back in the street. I'm fighting the case, going to the court from the street, fighting the case. And my judge was, she's the DA now, the Bronx DA. She's a black, powerful, strong woman. Her name is Darcel Clark. She's the DA for the Bronx County now. She was very, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, I was scared. She offered me 13 years. That was my first offer from her and the DA. You know what I'm saying? And it could have went anywhere from 10 to 20 with my record and, being my current history and previous history. So one time my wife even came to court with my oldest daughter that's about to be 10. When she was like first born, she had to be 3 or 4 or 5 months, maybe 6. And she said something like, oh, don't think just because your baby's here and your wife's here, that's gonna, basically she was on some motherly stuff, basically. That's what I felt from her. I'm saying? Because the same thing she was telling me is the same things my mom would have told me if she was alive. So that's why I got that vibe from her, and I was kind of scared, you know? I didn't want to do all that time anyway. But again, that's how that went, and that story just goes to show all the youth and all everybody that come across this video that committing crime, it follows you even when you don't commit crime. Because I didn't commit that crime. I had a co-defendant I didn't know. I never seen that dude a day in my life until that day. Never seen him, right? So that's how fast your life could change. You putting out negative energy is gonna come right back to you like a boomerang. You feel me? That's how this world is. That's how life is. The energy you put out come back. Positive energy gonna bring positive energy. Negative energy gonna bring negative energy. And that's just how it is, man. Get it together or forget it forever. That's the motto and the slogan that we going by, you feel me? That's just how life is, man. So I end up fighting that case for almost 3 years, 2.5 years, and I end up beating it. Word. I end up beating that case. Thankfully, by the grace of God, 2.5 years later, I tried to sue them and get a lawsuit. They dubbed it. I was just happy I didn't have to go through that anymore, and that was finally over, because I was still on parole, like I said, and that's a lot of time. All them years would have been wasted in my life, and I would have never been able to get those back. That's why I always try to tell and get the message across to the youth, man. Life is precious, man. Make it count, man. You know, travel, go places, spend time with your family, because your family not gonna always be here. One day, everybody gotta go, you feel me? So at the end of the day, you gotta just live life to the fullest and make it count. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your last day, you know what I mean? Especially if you got kids like me, you wanna leave something behind for them so that they could do something positive and leave something for their kids and their kids, and you know, so on and so forth. Keep the cycle going, you know what I mean? Generational wealth, that's what it's all about too, man. So with that being said, pardon me, still kind of tired here. With that being said, you know, live your life, man. To all the youth that come across this video, I hope y'all take these stories into consideration, man, and apply them to your life. If you going down that wrong road, separate yourself, isolate yourself, tune into yourself, get to know yourself, know what you like, know what you want to do, and go for it, man. Don't let nobody stop you. Until next time, catch me on the next episode on Hell on Rikers Island. If you ain't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, man. Hit them like buttons, share. Let's get these messages out there, man. Like I said, get it together or forget it forever. That's the motto and the slogan that we going by, man. Peace.